having worked out where that saddle has got to sit in from that edge so that I can get that large flat washer in and sitting flat on the underside, will sit about there. First thing I want to do is mask it up. So that will be sitting there like that. We want that so that it's 90 degrees off the string line in line with our mast step. It can be either 90 degrees or slightly back further. We don't want it in front of our mast step. I'd say a good place for it will be exactly there. We only need to mark one hole like that on that side, and the next thing we want to do is mask up approximately where that's going to sit on the other side, like that. The secret to getting that in a good position so that they're even on both sides is to use a string line again. We need a central location point off that centre line up forward. Holding the string line there, I'm now going to measure where that falls in relation to the hole we've marked on that side, like that. And then I'm simply going to describe that across to the other side. That way that line will be even from the bow backwards. Using our measure, I'm now going to measure from the outside of that gunnel in, which is 48 millimetres. I'm now going to measure in from this gunnel 48 millimetres. Which is there. The other two saddles that we have to position is the forward saddle for the uphaul and a saddle on the back for the backstay. With the saddle for the forward stay, we want to mount the pulley block on the saddle first and then mount it sideways so that it sits flat, so that it will be on the deck like so. Now that saddle is going to be mounted from the centre of our mast step forward, about 400 millimetres. I'm going to put a piece of masking tape down again, always masking off, and that will sit there. Now using our string line again, we want to mount that so that it's in the centre, like so, and just mark out where one of the holes is going to be. Moving back from our mast step, we need that backstay to be about 30 or 300 mil. 300 mil back is right in the way of our the rim of our hatch. I'm going to move it back so that it's just sitting nicely on that outside lip of the recess for the hatch. Again, thinking about the direction in which the loading is going to be, I want to mount that lengthways to the loading, so it is going to be mounted there like that. Using our string line to determine the centre of the boat, I will drill it down into position there. Looking down over the top of our string line, remembering that we've got to make room for those washers underneath. I'm going to position that there like that. Again, only needing to put one hole mark there. Just recapping on what we've done, working out where that mast swivel needs to be, marking that into position using the centre line, 90 degrees out from that line or slightly back a bit, only a matter of millimetres. Our side straddles, being mindful of the washer that's got to fit up underneath that so that there's enough clearance. Using our string to pendulum down to mark the opposite side, measuring forward and positioning where our front saddle needs to be, and measuring backwards to our saddle for the backstay. Being mindful of the direction that we're going to be loading our saddles, the next step is to drill and bolt in place. Now, normally I would be bedding these bolts down and the saddles and mast down with either Sikaflex or a silicon based product to make the things waterproof, so that we don't get any leaking into our hatches. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to drill and bolt without setting them in Sikaflex or some other sealant. This is the scary part with any boat owner, is drilling the first hole into their nice boat. Using one of the bolts, now that I've got the first hole in, as a locating device so that I'm guaranteed that I'm going to get the next hole in the right place. I then drill the start of the other hole. That's ready to be bolted down.